So today's video is a little different. We are going to be going back to the basics and going back to budgeting, but my own budget. So I'm going to be revealing my budget today, as well as kind of doing a review of it and seeing what can be improved on and hopefully getting better in the future. So follow me on that journey starting now. January, I realize, is a very interesting month. A lot of money was spent. A lot of improvement. So some things I've already implemented into February already, and I know we're at the end of February, but you know, it's a review. So I had to wait till the month was over, and you know, that way I have a point of comparison. So let's get into it. So I'm gonna put up on the screen my little sheet here that I'm going over so you can kind of follow along with me. So basically, first category was groceries. I tend to put our groceries a little higher because I want to eat out less. So my goal has been to cook at home more, have like basically a variety of things at home. That way I feel like I didn't feel the need to go out, especially, you know, with the way things are now. Won't name any names, but you guys know. So anyway, our budget on that was $500 a month to start. So kind of a big budget for two people, but I felt like I just didn't want to feel like I needed anything. You know, I didn't want to feel like, oh, I wish I had this snack, or I wish I, you know, had a better lunch. You know what I mean? I just wanted to feel good about what I was getting and have variety. That way I didn't feel like, you know, I was eating the same thing all the time, which I feel like when that happens, then you don't want to, you want to kind of sneak out and get something. So that is what I was aiming for on that. In reality, I spent more than that, actually. I actually spent $651.63 in groceries. Not exactly sure how, but here we are. So we did go over budget on that by like $151.63. Eating out, we also went over budget on, which I feel like, so I'm gonna say a positive and a negative. So a negative is we did go over budget because I've been trying to keep it to like $100 max per month for both of us, like as far as both of us going together. So if it's something like where I went to go get a coffee on my own, then that goes under my miscellaneous budget, which is only $50 a month. Now that's not $50 necessarily for coffee only, but that's for anything that I want that's just for me. So if I just want a miscellaneous purchase, or you know, I need something for myself, that's basically my budget, and George has his own budget kind of thing. So that, you know, we didn't do so good on the eating out. It was $125. So we went over by $25, but I feel like in reality, from what we've come from in the past, no joke, we've spent the majority of our budget on eating out. So, you know, with maybe me going at lunch every day, or George in the past going to get lunch when he was working, you know, so I feel like that budget's pretty good for us considering $100 a month. You know, so that's only like a few times of going out. So I feel like it's pretty good on that. I still, you know, feel like we obviously could work on it more, but it is what it is. And then Philo I got rid of, actually. So it was $21.68 a month. It gets you like a pretty good amount of channels. I kind of wanted it because there were some shows that I wanted to watch that I was having a hard time trying to find on one app or the other. So I was like, well, I'll just get this, and then it'll kind of compensate for the fact that I can't watch these specific shows on certain apps. So I actually found a way to get around this. So that is off. So that was the last month of paying Philo. I only paid for like a couple months. It was like one of those I did a free trial and I forgot about it kind of thing. So I only had it on for a couple months, but so Philo's gone. So no more $21.68 a month, but that was the last month of paying it. And then what I did instead, so in February, I went and got Discovery Plus, which you're thinking like, okay, why? Well, Discovery Plus actually has a pretty fair amount of channels, one channel of which is the one that I wanted to watch with the show on it, and it was only like $5 a month. I think $5.41 with taxes. So I was like, okay, that's a way better deal. Plus, if you're, you know, the other show that I like to watch on there, I found a happy surprise that the app that I already have, which is CBS All Access, that is going to start having those channels on there. So that actually kind of eliminated that because I'm already paying for it, so I'll have access to that automatically. So instead of being $21.68, it'll be like extra, I think it's $4.99 with tax, otherwise $5.41. So much better in February on. Spotify, that one's $13.99. That's for both of us. Netflix, $14.08, you know, just a basic subscription. Apple, that one is for us to have iCloud service, that we can have backup for our phone. And then Hulu, HBO, that one's $16.25. We do have a lot of TV stuff, but I feel like considering the scheme of things, it's still cheaper than obviously having cable. And then an Adobe subscription, that's for George for like editing pictures and be able to have like Photoshop and Lightroom, all that type of stuff. MGV miscellaneous, his budget's $50, mine's $50, so we have each our own $50 budget. And then we have, I call it on here miscellaneous both, but it's basically a household budget. So like if we need a cleaner or we need cat litter, you know, something like that, then that kind of goes under that budget. And then we have gas for both of us. I usually budget around $50 a month. You know, it's kind of hard to tell with gas prices, you know, they go up and down. So, but usually we're under budget on that. So that's not a problem. And then especially nowadays, we don't really go anywhere. So I don't feel like we're using extra gas or anything. And then Chewy.com, we have a subscription with them, not like a monthly you pay subscription, but as in our cat food is shipped to us on a regular basis with them. So I usually budget $160 a month. It's usually about $148.87, and that's what it's been. That's for our cat's food. So, you know, lucky them. Anyway, Truebill subscription, that one I was trying out and I put down that I would pay $3 a month, and I've decided I'm not going to pay for that anymore. It's a great app. It's just, I don't think it's worth paying $3 a month for. So I'm just gonna be paying for the free subscription and just not do the premium version. So that's also canceled. And then the car payment, that's been the same for years. So $441.81. Comcast, I did get this bill down recently to $60. I went under another promotion for established people, and then not only that, but like I think even after the promotion ends in another year or so, it was gonna be $70, and I think we were paying $90. So it was like a major discount, and we still have the same service. So not exactly sure why that's the way it is, but right now we're in the promotional period, so it will go back up again. Our mortgage is $1327.92, so that's been the same for a while. I think next month it is going to be going up just because our property taxes went up, so not that concerned about it. It was like going to be $1340, you know, so you know, a little bit more, but I think it'll be manageable. The phone, this one's been the same. I reduced the bill on this maybe last year when George got let go from his job. I went and actually tried to get our bill down, so it was like about 190 actually. Now we got it down to 128. That's also with paying off his phone too. So very, you know, a lot more manageable for two people. And then the sewer bill comes bi-monthly, so this month would be January was the month I had to pay it, so it's $80 a month straight, or $40 a month obviously. So we went ahead and paid that. And then the Best Buy credit card, I do have a balance on that card, and I'm trying to keep my credit up. Even though I technically could have paid for the refrigerator outright, I didn't want to do that, just because of the fact that I need to have like some recurring line of credit other than like the basics, like a car and a house kind of thing. So also to keep my credit card open. So I took advantage of their 0% interest for like 24 months. So we still have, let me see here, until July of 2022 on the refrigerator. So I just assigned a certain amount to pay it off way in advance, but at the same time, just to keep building up my credit. So we paid $200 a month on that card. And then for Amazon credit card, that one's kind of various. It's basically, I just pay it off every month. But I figured we were using Amazon services so much that I'm like, I might as well have the credit card, and then we will just pay it off every month. So if anything, Amazon basically comes from that card. Sometimes if I don't have my other credit card with me, I might use it, but it's not common that I'm using that card versus Citi card. I'm usually using my Citi card, but it does get you rewards and things like that, so you get money back. So that's another reason I got it, basically, because I figured if we're gonna buy it from Amazon, I might as well get some money back, make it worth my while, you know? So Waste Connections, that's basically garbage. So that's every 2 months, and that's $51.92 for 2 months. And then the natural gas bill, of course, that's various because it depends on how much heating we're using. I think the water heater and the heating are the only thing really on the gas bill, but Obviously those things get used a lot in the winter, so that bill tends to go up in the winter and it's really low in the summer. So I usually budget like $130 to put aside that. It's never been that high, but just in case, like it was really cold and crazy. And then this month we used $99.35, so it wasn't wild. And then for the electricity only, that was $70 what I budgeted, and it was $61.63. So usually we have a pretty low electricity bill. And then unexpected expenses. This is where it got really bad, really bad this month. So I set aside usually like $100 for, I mean, we have savings, but I mean $100 just for things that come up, you know, like you just can't predict. So that's where we went over by a lot. So we spent $3,526.74 in unexpected expenses. I call them unexpected because they're things that I wasn't planning to either purchase, or you know what I mean, like just things that weren't part of the budget initially. So we're gonna call them unexpected expenses, and I am now showing you right now what unexpected expenses we have. One of which is like the car registration. Obviously we have to get tags for the car. We can't, you know, not do that. And you can say that technically it's kind of expected because it happens this time every year, but it's not a common budget thing. It's not like every month we pay it kind of thing is what I meant. So $70.30 for that. TurboTax, I usually get this every year to do our taxes with. The negative is that I was gonna do them free, and it says every year I can do them free, but then when I try to do it, it says I can't. So I don't know, but I just pay it because I would rather just do it and be done with it. So for the software, it's $43.36. And then for CBS All Access, that came to be, so basically I'm doing all of my subscriptions, I found if you do like a year at a time, it tends to be cheaper. So with the CBS All Access one, it is like $5.99 a month. And then with taxes and everything, it ends up being cheaper to, let's see what the calculation is on this exactly. Sorry, you guys, it's either $5.99 or $6.99 a month. Yeah, so if I paid the $5.99 a month without tax, it's automatically $71.88, and then it's $65.03 with tax for just buying it a year at a time. So I just decided to do that to save some money, and then I don't have it coming out every single month either. It just paid off. So that came around, you know, to be paid. And then the vet. This is where things got ugly because my cat needed a lot of dental work. So his bill came to, first bill I should say, came to $2,027.01. His second bill came to $250. He had other bills, but they were in December, so I didn't count those. But yeah, he's an expensive boy. He's got expensive taste. He needed some help. Oh, he also had cat meds. So his meds were $69. So again, something that you're not planning on paying for, but there it is. A kayak. So my husband got Christmas money and he went and got a kayak for himself, but I had said, well, hey, I want to go kayaking with you. So we purchased another kayak so we could have two kayaks. They had a really good deal at Walmart. It was like $180 plus tax. So the total was $213.97 for a second kayak. So again, not something you purchase all the time and not really what I was planning to purchase, but here we are. Now we have two kayaks. And then the car insurance came around again as being due. It's due every 6 months. Previously I was paying monthly, but again, it was cheaper to just take it and, you know, pay it in one lump sum or like two lump sums. So it was $660 for the car insurance for 6 months for both of our cars. And then work expenses, I had to mail a package for work. It was $78.07. That I've already been reimbursed on. So, but at the same time, initially when this budget was made, I didn't compensate for that. And then also we contributed $50 to a funeral. So that was unexpected as well. So total $3,526.74 just in unexpected expenses this month. So it was a little wild there. That's not including what we normally went over. But yeah, so that was kind of a lot more than we anticipated paying. I think so we went over by $3,765.03. Now I would say we would have only went over by $200 if we didn't have all those unexpected expenses, but you know, life happens. So there, you know, that's why you have savings basically. So that's where that came into play. And then I wanted to go over, this is also, sorry to ramble a lot, this is a debt update video as well. I was requested that I update kind of my debt story video since that was been a few years ago now. Nothing really has changed. We're pretty boring people. At that time I had a mortgage and a Prius, still do. The Rogue, which is our Nissan Rogue, that was paid off and it's still paid off. We still only have those two cars. And then the only difference is that we got the Amazon credit card. Some of this is too because of the fact that I had many credit cards when I was in debt, just from shuffling my money around so much. I think at one point I had 20 credit cards, so it was kind of wild. But at one point we weren't using them all because we had gotten out of debt and we're like, we don't need 20 credit cards. It's just hard to keep up with. There's a lot going on, like too many accounts basically. But at the same time, if you know anything about credit, then it's better to have more accounts even if you're not using them, because it looks like you're being loaned large sums of money and you're very responsible because you're not using all the money that's being loaned to you. Well, a lot of these accounts, because we haven't been using them, have closed. So my credit score is still very good. Like I don't want to sound like it's, oh my god, my credit score is so bad, but it doesn't make it better obviously if you have less debt loaned to you, if that makes sense. So basically if I had 10 credit cards with $1,000 on them, that's $10,000 that's loaned to me. I'm only using $1,000. It looks like there's $9,000 I could spend, but I'm not, and I'm a very responsible person to credit people, you know. But if you basically have $1,000 still, but then you get rid of all your cards and you only have $1,000 loaned to you and you're spending $1,000, then it looks like you're not very responsible because they only gave you $1,000 and you already spent the whole $1,000. Does that make sense? Okay, so basically as all these cards have been chipping down, it had gotten to the point where I think George has a couple, like, but I'm not on those. So I think between both of us, let's see, we barely have any credit cards. Like we used to have 3 Best Buy cards. I think we're down to 1 Best Buy card, maybe 2 Best Buy cards, 1 for each of us. We have the Amazon credit card right now, and that's new. And then a Citi card. And I think that's it. I think everything else is just gone. I think they all closed. So basically I'm trying to be as responsible as I can, obviously, with the credit that is loaned to me. But basically what happens is because we were only paying the Prius and the mortgage, right? So those are only certain things that are basically being paid off monthly. I wanted to try, and we do spend money every day on the Citi card. Basically any purchases I make, I use the Citi card for. Like if it's just to go get my groceries, I use Citi card. If I use, not a Citi card sponsorship, by the way, it sounds like it is, but basically that's my primary credit card. So if I pay for anything, it's with that credit card, and then I just pay the balance off at the end of the month, basically to keep building my credit up. But you know, I'm just purchasing things I normally would purchase. I'm not buying anything extraordinary or anything. Amazon is just because of the fact that we strictly shop at Amazon a lot. Like we shop there way too much. So I'm like, if I'm gonna shop there way too much, at least I'm gonna get some money back for it. So that's basically why that card got open, and I figured it would help keep building the credit anyway. So we opened that card, and then Best Buy's always been open. We bought a fridge last May. That fridge, like I said, we could have just bought outright, but I wanted to have something kind of like on my credit to make it look like we're making payments and things, even though we don't need to. So I just went ahead and put it on one of those 24-month zero interest situations. Right now the balance on that is $1,121.47. I'm paying $200 a month, so it's 0% interest until that 2022 mark, but I plan to pay it off like 3 months in advance. That way I'm covered and it doesn't haunt me. Mortgage wise, we still owe a lot. It's a mortgage. We're gonna be paying that till 2042, so something to look forward to. But right now the balance on it is $159,999.75. And I did make some recent payments. I made 1 extra payment to it to actually get the balance below 160. I'm hoping that I will be able to get the PMI taken off. If I get the PMI taken off, that will bring our mortgage payment down by at least $160 a month. which is amazing. So I am really striving to get that done. So I just applied to get the PMI removed from the account because at that point we'll be below the specific balance that they asked for. So I made an extra payment of $1,600 just to get it below that balance because I'm getting overpaying PMI. So we did that. The Prius still has a balance of $6,530.67. That's also coming up due 2022. So basically the Prius should be paid off next year. The Best Buy card will be paid off next year. So at that point, really the only debt we would have would be the mortgage. The other cards, like right now the Citi card has $1,233.49 on it. That's basically a whole month worth of purchases like groceries, etc. And all the subscriptions go through there, that sort of thing. So basically that'll be paid off at the end of the month. And then Amazon, surprisingly, we owed a lot on Amazon. I was kind of surprised when I even checked the balance. We owe $1,131.67, which I believe in a couple more days we're gonna be making a $1,000 payment on it. That's what the statement balance is to pay it. So I'm thinking, oh, I found out what it was. It's because Amazon Prime subscription came through. So we have a yearly Amazon Prime subscription. I have an Audible subscription. We have a lot of subscriptions. So both of those came through. That was like almost $300 just alone that. And then also the other Amazon stuff was small, but then it kind of trickled up basically. I'm thinking that's stuff from Christmas that's kind of just hanging around. So that's gonna be paid off. And then I know that I got money for Christmas for to just spend, you know, for a gift. So I did buy some stuff there. So I'm sure all of that's just from that. So yeah, so basically in summary, the only things that we're maintaining a balance on a regular basis would be the mortgage, the Prius, and then the Best Buy until it's paid off next year. The other cards are getting paid off monthly. So that's really the only debt we have. I don't have student loan debt anymore. You know, once the Prius is paid off, I'm not planning on buying another car unless something horrific happens to either one of those cars. I'm just trying to keep us as debt-free as humanly possible. So that's where we're at. But yeah, I still definitely think this month has been going better so far. Like, I don't think we have, obviously we're not buying another kayak. We're, you know, not planning on taking the cat to the vet again for a little bit, you know, unless it's just routine maintenance on our cat, not major dental surgery. So hopefully this month will be a little bit more tame. But I just happened to pull out January to look over for you guys, and I'm like, January's pretty wild. This is actually an interesting month to go over. But yeah, I think there's always things to analyze, and you know, I mean, I feel like some of those subscriptions I could technically cut back. I mean, I probably won't, let's be honest. I'm happy with them. So like I said, the Philo one I got rid of, so that cut back $20, and then I promptly spent $5, so $15 savings. But either way, I feel like that's still a better situation. I think this is kind of a good thing for me to keep myself on track too, like look at the whole month and be like, oh hey, like, oh god, what was I doing? Like, oh, calm down, stop. Like when I looked at all the Dutch Bros purchases, I'm like, no. Dutch Bros got me. So anyway, all right, well, thanks for watching, you guys, and hope you enjoyed the content. Sorry, I keep looking down at my little notes here. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting to me anyway. I like to watch like money content. I don't know if anybody else does, but just to see like where people can cut back and like any tips that people have, because I mean, it's kind of the times nowadays, you know, to cut back, and there's nothing really going on. So there's that. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the video today, and thanks for watching, you guys. Bye.